just discussing like, you know, what would be beneficial and what you have been working on and stuff like that. And we mentioned that you've just been doing a little bit of like clamp guard stuff, shoulder clamp guard stuff, which is actually a bit of a coincidence because I've just been doing some clamp guard stuff for Doncaster. And I've been sort of using it though a little bit, probably slightly different than what is previously been used. So I thought, well, I may as well show you how I've been using it. It might fit in with what you guys. I like clamp guard, but one of the reasons why I like it as a position with the shoulder clamp is that it's quite, what's the word I'd use? It's a bit like an adjustable spanner. You can use it in a lot of different areas. It's not just like one guard, or you know. And I like stuff like that because I'm not right bright, and I like to be able to just have an idea that I can run with a lot, rather than having to remember lots of little areas for different things. You know what I mean? So let me just start with internal guard position. So if you just get your partner to go on the knees and just have your feet on the inside to start. And basically, don't get too obsessed with the arms, because more often than not, my entry into this would come when they search for like an underhook, you know, as they want to pass. So I'd utilise their desires to create an underhook more often than not to create the clamp guard. Don't get too obsessed with the beginning, alright? But there is one version I'll show you in a second where you do sort of manipulate them a little bit. So just to start with, I sort of start a bit like when my hands are going to the back of the triceps. And as I sort of pull one side forward, I roll my hand to the front to push one side back. Do you get the idea? So I start off on both, and I sort of pull one side and push one side. And then simultaneously I put my foot to his hip and I drop down and I open my hip out. Now I'd open my hip out really wide if I were going for like an elbow attack. But if I'm going to clamp guard, my hip would come in a little bit more. Does that make sense? So it'd come in sort of like in this position here for his shoulder. Okay. Key factor is the foot on the hip. That's a really key factor. Now from this, my primary attack, especially when I've clamped at the shoulder, is to actually attack with like the omoplata. Okay? So I want to create a space to put my leg in, my head's sort of in the way where my leg would go. So I sort of trap with my hand and I take my head away, because that means now there's a space for my leg to go where my head was. Are you with me? And then from this position I start to bring my elbow out and my leg out at the same time. Now, I used to for years get to this sort of position and then look to attack the omoplata. But at a certain level, especially no gi, but also with the gi, the omoplata becomes very difficult to finish, because it's quite easy for your opponent to scramble and roll and do all those things. So what I now do is I kind of like open my outside leg up and I push my other leg forward. That allows my opponent to what we call limp arm out. And as he limp arm out, that allows me to roll up and start to look to take it back. So I instantaneously get a sweep. But I get in a sweep now looking to attack the back. And so at this point I get the two. I've got a shot at attacking the back and there's way less of the scramble. So I've started sort of using this and encouraging my competitors to use this in this way, because you nail the 2 points, you've got a shot at the back and there's way less of the scramble. Does that make sense? When you get to this position here, try to insert your knee in that hole there. And if you can, just come inside this. Can you see how, and rightly so, can you see how there's not much of a gap between James' bum and his foot? What I do is I drop my leg down and I just kind of bump him forward just enough to get my foot. That's all I want. I just want my foot inside. I can actually start to like come so to hooking if I really want to. For me, that's a bit overkill. I don't personally bother. I just kind of do that. Sometimes I even stand on his foot. Do you get the idea? And now in this position, I'm sort of bringing my knee and my foot together. Can you see that? Yeah, okay. And from here up, I'm dropping towards James's shoulder and I'm turning my knee up to the ceiling. This means what people tend to do is see my right leg, they tend to drop it down to try and put the hook in. But if James turns his hips up, he can escape over my leg, can you see? But if I turn my knee up to the ceiling, he can't do that. And what I usually do then is hook. See how I've hooked the feet together? Now this foot can guide it. Are you with me? She's a lot better, isn't it?
So into it.
So we're here up, yeah. Hold, push, foot on the hip, drop to the side and clamp on the shoulder. Clear the space to pass my foot over, start to sit up, and then I push down so I can limp out. I start to put my knee in and I bring my leg behind. Sometimes you don't need to do that, it's already there, you know what I mean? Now in this position you might want to hold. I usually just hold one arm on the gi. Yeah. Start to roll this way, bring him up, knees. Got it? 1, 2.
That's enough there. This one. So this one goes on like, yeah, that way and then there, that's it. It's easy to like the hip control.
So everybody just pause one. That's it, into there. And now when it's that, guiding that way, as that one shrinks you out.
So his foot's on the floor.
That's what's really guiding my foot. And then that one extends you out.
Driving this one.
That's it. And then I
Yeah,
I do, and then now I'm doing that reach and pulling in. That's what you're doing it. Like common error when, so could you just go all fours for me, James? So one common error that people have when they're in this kind of position here is when they fall, yeah, and they put their hook inside, what they do is, can you see how, I've just locked my leg so I can control James a little bit better. Can you see, like, on my bottom hook, James's hip is like right at the top of my leg. So he's kind of like laid right on my quad. Not my quad, like my adductor. Like virtually on my groin, really. But what I actually want, James, sorry, I'm just doing this, James, so I can move. I actually want to make it so James is actually laid on like more on my knee bend. Yeah. Can you see that? Because when I'm here, again, when I get to this position, whether my leg's inside or not, I actually don't want to pull this shoulder towards me. Everyone thinks they do, everyone does that. But that's actually turning James the way he wants to go to escape. He wants to turn all his hips upwards. I actually, weirdly, when I get to this position, want to push his shoulder that way. Does that make sense? I want to be going this way. I don't want to pull him to me. That's helping James. So that's one error that I've just sort of witnessed. The second error is people doing this. My whole purpose of locking up like this would be to control his hip. But to control his hip, I need to be over the top of his hip. I can't be under his hip. If I turn under his hip can move. My goal is to clamp his hip so he can't go left or right. So if I push forward this way and clamp, he can't go left or right. Does that make sense? So a thing to always remember in our sport is we create pressure not by like squeezing. We create pressure by actually making the room really small. We're not bothered how much they can roam around. It's just, we just keep making room smaller. Does that sort of make sense? If we squeeze, we get tired. But if we do that, they get tired. They're like a rattling ink can. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, 1, 2. So in this situation, sometimes you go to like fall, but your opponent, I don't know, maybe uses their hands as like bases to the side, you know, like as if to say, I'm not falling that way. I don't want to fall, I'm not doing it. Do you get the idea? When that happens, I switch from like this kind of grip, and like a seatbelt grip, I switch to like an over-the-top grip. So I basically put 10 fingers together. Call this a 10-finger grip. Okay. So I switch to a 10-finger grip, and now basically I drop. It's like I'm pushing his head in that way. So now as I fall down, I drop, and that turns his head under. Are you with me? Sorry, James. With me. So the only thing to be mindful of here, if you just want to practice the 10-finger grip, is if you do base on that hand, as you feel yourself go, bring the hand in so you can roll. Sometimes you get it where they collapse into that space, so they can't actually roll over because of their own arms, but you're still cranking their head, and they end up tapping out to the neck crank, really, and all they had to really do is take their arm away so they could fall that way. But it's actually more common than you think, because the reason why I'm going for that is because they're basing on that arm powerful. Does that sort of make sense? So just be mindful as a safety tip that when you're drilling it, this person, even though the hand's there, brings their hand in when they feel the tilt, because it's more important to preserve your body than it is to pretend that you can stay in off foot. And the actual reality is, if this was like a comp scenario, when I grabbed here, I'd be going with some gusto as I fell that way with my weight. When I'm actually training in the gym, I just kind of drop. And again, see how I keep my shoulders so then I can get the arm. And then I change my feet. And often go straight into attack. Or build up onto your elbow. Start thinking about like bow and arrow, etc. Is that alright, everyone? Got it? Yeah. 1, 2. You okay, Jay? So basically, any time, sorry, I'm just coming up a little bit. Any time where I end up looking at Phil here is like super bad because I've got maximum back exposure because James is on that side. So there's always a tendency in this position to start by trying to face James.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So there's always a tendency in this position to either like fall this way or actually like start to step this foot up and kind of reface James, because obviously everything that way is horrible. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Could you just turn like a diagonal, like facing that way? That's it. Sorry. Just trying to think about the space for the room. So I'm here. So I'm on James. You know, I'm starting to think about taking James's back. So James starts to stand this leg up like he wants to fall. So this foot goes inside. But now it's important when this foot inside that this knee looks to insert on this side. Can you see? Yeah. It's basically, if any of you ever watched footage of Marcelo Garcia back in the day, it's just the Marcelo Garcia roll. It's just where he's trying to turn and face you to take his back away from you. So you're trying to climb back over the mountain so you get back on his back. But because then, I'm running out of hands. Because he's turning to face you and you've got to go over, and as you do that, if their back hits the floor, you then can't get under them. So that's why you've kind of got to like jump your knee in the hole so that then when they turn, they can't hit the floor. So then you can roll them all the way over again. Does that make sense? You've kind of got to not only prevent them facing you, you've then got to prevent them hitting the floor with their back, which is why you've kind of got to dive into the space. Does that make sense? Clear as mud. Yeah. So we're in here, James in. So my bottom leg comes under, and can you see how like my leg goes back, and so my knee goes in. See, I'm hooking again, look. See my top leg, I don't care. Bottom legs. Now I can, if I want to, again. You get the idea? So when I'm drilling it, I do this proper weird thing. Probably looks a bit dumb, but no more. He's thinking no dumber than anything else you do. When I'm here and James starts to come up, when that leg goes in, I kind of kick my leg back up so I can get used to. It's like a training aid for me.
Yeah.
Got the idea, everyone? Yeah, 1, 2. So the most common place that I get it from when people underhook is actually half guard. So when you're in half guard, look mate, what, like, everybody underhooks, or at least tries to underhook. So if I get my knee inside, I'm already there, look. Does that sort of make sense? I get it a lot also when people are trying to knee cut, because you only need to make them fall that side and they're already in half guard, really. Does that make sense? We could have done it from close guard. I suspect you probably did it from close guard in a lot of your classes. But one way in which I do it from internal guard is quite advanced. And it's very sneaky. And it generally catches like a lot of big, strong people out, because the big, strong ones tend to grip really hard on your pant legs. It's also quite a good way of learning to strip a grip, but it's proper weird. When you first, you'll struggle with this, and so I'm only saying that not because I'm trying to diminish your abilities. I'm saying it because I want you to be kind to yourself, because you will. It's proper odd. But try and imagine, you're drawing a circle with your knee. See that? Yeah. So most of my body's relaxed. It's just me hip and my knee working. Okay. You know what's coming. So another thing for you to help you is ask your partner to grip an inch lower than they would normally do. It'll just help you when you're learning. Once you get good at it, you won't worry too much, as long as they're not above your knee. If they're really high above your knee, you can't do it. But generally they grip on your knee or below. If this grip down here, oh, it's really good. It's proper easy now. Does that make sense? You've got loads more leverage. But for learning, probably in between them two things is best. Right. And basically, always when I want to deal with like the structure, so it'll be solid in the grip. Do you get the idea? Always when I deal with this structure, I always want to put his shoulder in front of his elbow and his wrist. So the more I bring his shoulder forward, the less strength and power he's got. Does that make sense? So I'm basically grabbing just behind his elbow, more on his lower tricep, and I've just got a job with Phil. So I'm just having a look at what time it is. Do you know what I mean? Because I've got a new watch. Look at the time of that. Look. Yeah, you with me? As I do that, look, I lean slightly and I stand this foot up so my knee, can you see how it's higher than his wrist? You can see his wrist already. And now if I start turning in long, see how it went there? Now if I'm not careful, what he'll do, he'll either circle his arm that way and come back, yeah? Or when it goes, he'll just lift it out that way and bring it over. Does that make sense? So at the point when it goes, I push my knee through. Can you see? Do you remember I said circle? At the point when it goes, my knee goes through. So I'm here, I stand my knee up, and it goes through, and I've got it. Now I'm in. Does that make sense? Yeah? So I'm heel up, I've got hold, I pull, and then we're off again. Runners and riders. Yeah? I love this way of breaking the grip. Like any time when I'm like here like this, and say someone grabs like a big one and they start making posture, pushing off their arms like that, I think, no, we're not doing that. You're not having my hand. Be with me. So, your legs are so strong, so use them. Do you know what I mean? So heel up, Breitling, beach, Breitling beach, BB, look. Be good if we got another. Yeah.
3 B's.
Yeah. And then, so the knee then goes towards the wrist, you see? Break. Yeah, Breitling, beach, break. Bosh. Foot on the hip, clamp. Are you with me? Lots of bees in there, isn't there? Yeah. That would be a bee or a wasp. So, yeah, elbow, knee, and roll. Are you with me? I'm not bothered if you do quite a lot of them, just like that to begin with, just so you get the feel of what's going on, and then see if you can patch it to what we were doing before. Is that all right? Yeah, 1, 2.
They don't come out very often.
So, look, obviously you're appreciative of the value of the clamp guard because you've been doing it, and I know both James and Phil use this guard a lot. So I know it'll be something that you probably all use. Do you know what I mean? So I know you know the value of it. I suppose what I've just tried to bring into it today is a little bit of that you can maybe do it from more areas than what you maybe thought you could. You know, so it's a bit like an adjustable spanner, like we said, and also the idea that. And this is probably linked a little bit more towards like the competition side, but I don't think it's just purely the competition side, but I'll use the competition side to start with. The idea that sometimes you have to make a judgment call that maybe the right thing to do here is let them limp, not chase the omoplata because I may lose it, scramble, I end up back where I started, and all that advantage, if you like, all that effort was then for nothing. Sometimes it's better to just say, right, I'll let them limp arm out. I'll come up behind to the turtle position, but because I've started on the bottom from a guard and now ended up on top, 2 points, and I've got a shot at the back. And if they turn into me, a shot at the front. Like I was saying to James, for me, when I used to compete, I used to use that and then limp. And then what I would do is I would actually, because I'm more of a mount person, I would just threaten the back to make them turn. And when they turn, I would flatten into the chest. And what I would do is kind of leave my trailing leg so they got like a really rubbish quarter guard or a half guard. And then I'd make sure the ref saw that, and then I'd go to mount. So now I'm getting 3 for the guard pass and 4 for the mount. So I've gone 2, 3, 4, boom. That's a lot now. Like, it's loads to make up that. Do you know what I mean? Like, probably 3-4 minutes into a 10-minute match now. Even if they bridge me off now, I'm just shutting my guard and not opening it. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's it. Ship sailed. Match is finished now. Next round. And so that's the competition variant. And then the last thing I'll just say on that is sometimes you're stuck under a monster and you get that advantageous position. You chase the omoplata and you might end up back underneath the monster. You limp arm it out, come up behind turtle. Seems like a better battle to be fighting against a monster to me. So what I'm trying to say is jiu-jitsu, it's not just A, B, C, D, E. There's individual strategy depending on individual circumstances. You set up to play your game different against different opponents. Do you know what I mean? I generally pick out really little weak people. That's what I like. But you know what I mean? Sometimes you end up with big ones. You know what I mean?
Small group, but the best group.
Yeah, all the masters always the ones that are here.
Yeah, so ready to have a beer and some pizza maybe. But we'll just do a quick grading. So again, thanks everybody for pitching up. Like we've got a lot of people I feel and stuff at the moment, but as you've seen, like every time that Neil comes and imparts his knowledge on us, we come away with loads more and adds to quite a lot of what we do already, because at the end of the day it's all come from Neil. So appreciate you coming in, always looking after us, mate. Thank you. We're going to do tags, going to divvy out some of the responsibilities as we all coaches. So Phil and John's just going to come out and do tags for ones that haven't come to gradings very often. As people are getting tags, just a round of applause for everybody. And then we might have a little bit of a beltage afterwards, maybe one or two. So do you want to go down the line, guys? Oh, well done, Mick.
Hold your tail out.
Did you only have one, Mick? Yeah? Only got one so far, have you? Yeah. Well done, Mick. Congratulations, mate. Well done, mate. Well done, Alistair. Yeah. Was it bad anyway from rugby? Yeah, so it just...
Not so much my hands, but like shoulders.
Yeah. Because it's pretty bad on with grips, isn't it, for your hands, but I know... Yeah. Yeah, I know, I've noticed. Yeah, I noticed when... yeah, I know. When everybody says about it being good for you, like, yeah, I used to say that. Yeah, that's true, yeah. You'd be getting
really having a lot of other ways.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. You'd be getting in trouble some other way, that's for sure. Don't have syphilis or something.
Yeah.
Well done, Kelly. All right, so it's always good when we can give out a belt or two. So first person that's coming out has been training a bit of time with us now. Always shows a lot of skill, natural ability, had a bit of time out, kind of recovering from an injury and just getting back fit, but he's doing really well. So Sam, coming out, mate. You're guessing that, yeah, so you don't know now, innit? We'll tag you up. Well done, mate. Yeah, I know, he's all moving to Dubai, is it? Yeah. To Dubai soon, so there's a lot of jiu-jitsu out there, so well done, mate. Another mate. Well done, Sam. And just one more while you're going down the line. So, a bit of a special one tonight, because it takes a long time to kind of get up the ranks up to purple belt and above. As you know, it takes a long time to get there. There's a lot of dedication, a lot of helping out your training partners. This person's also been coaching for some time with the kids, which is no mean feat to do. And I think, you know, when you come to start coaching, it not only it brings on your game massively, and helping other people is very rewarding, but I think you get to the pinnacle of when you can show a technique to someone and they get it, that's one point, and then being able to see people sparring and then be able to pick up on the bits that they need to improve on is very difficult to do, and that's another. And then to coach in a competition where there's like a lot going on, there's a lot of noise, and especially to kids, to be able to coach in a fantastic way, as I've witnessed, is the pinnacle, yeah. And obviously always comes in and puts in, even though he's got his glass back at the minute, but come on, Dad. If you can coach the kids, you can definitely coach the adults.
I enjoyed that. That's good.
Well done, Dan. Excellent work, mate. Yeah. We'll have a week off now. Yeah. Right, thanks very much, everybody. Final round of applause to everybody. You guys make the gym what it is. And just one last point, because for me, this is the most important point of the gym. I've had a couple of new people come in recently who was like, after the session, has said how nervous they was to just walk through the door. And these, these like 20-year-old lads, probably should be quite confident, and everybody, without having to ask, makes them feel really welcome and really helps them along, introduce themselves, ask a lot about them, and they're like buzzing at the end of the class. And more than just showing them jiu-jitsu, it's about that community feel that's really important to me and the rest of the gym. So a round of applause for everybody for that.